Bienvenidos. Welcome to the 47th annual convening of one of the most enriching experiences in our community, the celebration of diversity and traditions known as Tucson Meet Yourself. I am Supervisor Betty Villegas, and on behalf of the Pima County Board of Supervisors and all the residents of our beloved community, I am happy you can join us. Pima County is a mix of ancestral cultures with lifetime and longtime residents and our new arrivals, all sharing the air, the land, and the history of the beautiful Sonoran Desert. Lucky for us, we also share the foods, dances, music, manual arts, and rituals of dozens of different cultural communities and folk groups, all of which call Pima County home. Every year, Tucson Meet Yourself, sometimes referred to as TMY, is our community's shared big tent where we discover, respect, and celebrate each other. Congratulations and thank you, Tucson Meet Yourself organizers, for adapting this year's 2020 festival to the new public health precaution guidelines. This year, TMY has reframed the event to include a socially distanced virtual experience that offers each of us an opportunity to be connected while remaining safe. There is so much beauty, strength, and resilience in every one of our cultural traditions, and I encourage you to join us in support and celebration of them all. Please enjoy all the offerings, and remember, we will get through all the challenges because we are Pima County strong.
Welcome to this program, part of the 2020 edition of Tucson Meet Yourself Reframe. I want to take this moment to thank our sponsors. Without their generosity, none of these wonderful offerings would have been possible. First, our major sponsors, Pima County, the City of Tucson, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Arizona Commission on the Arts, the Arts Foundation for Tucson and Southern Arizona, and the University of Arizona College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, and the Southwest Center. In addition, I want to thank our presenting sponsors, businesses that stuck with us even in these difficult times. Thank you to Cox, Tucson Electric Power, Visit Tucson, Desert Diamond Casino, and Chicanos por la Causa. Enjoy the program.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Karen Falkenstrom, and I am the Executive Director of Odaiko Sonora. Odaiko Sonora is a group, nonprofit arts group here in Tucson, Arizona, focused on Japanese ensemble drumming, or Taiko. Taiko is the Japanese word for big drum or big fat broad drum. Tonight we're going to have several groups playing for you. Our group is divided into students, community group members, and performing ensemble members. So we're going to have each group perform a few songs for you. The first group, this is kind of their rite of passage. Usually at Tucson Meet Yourself we debut our new art students. That stands for All Ages Recreational Taiko. Some of these people will be performing for you for the very first time here at Tucson Meet Yourself virtual. This is my 19th Tucson Meet Yourself. It's our group's 18th year here playing for Tucson Meet Yourself. We're really honored to be here. This is one of my favorite things in the world to do, and we're really glad that you're tuning in with us all. We're going to start off with the art students demonstrating one of the first songs that any taiko player is going to have to learn, which is called Tanaka Sensei's Renshu. Renshu means practice, and they're going to do two Renshu for you. The first one is Tanaka Sensei's, and the second one will be Kenny Endo's. Tanaka Sensei is considered the grandfather of all North American taiko. So those were the two renshu, or practice pieces, that most taiko players learn at the beginning of their taiko careers. Um, they learn about the kata, the stance, the way to hold the bachi, and they learn the way to move, which is very much like a martial art. I like to describe taiko as a martial art drumming team sport. It really includes aspects of all of those things. So they spend a lot of time really just learning how to use their body like a martial artist, along with these pretty simple rhythms that we play in taiko. There's not a lot of, what do you call it, sort of syncopated or difficult counting methods in taiko. Most of this stuff is pretty easy rhythmically, but body-wise, it takes a lot of stamina and strength and learning how your body works with the drum. Because we say that the instrument is not the drum and the bachi, which are the drumsticks, but the instrument is the drum, the bachi, and the player. That's something that differentiates taiko from some other instruments. So the next song that we're going to do for you is called Nebuta daiko. Nebuta is a Matsuri, or festival, that happens in the prefecture of Aomori in the northern part of the Honshu, the largest island of Japan. If you look up Nebuta Matsuri, you'll see that the festival features these huge lighted floats that are painted really intricately, made of wood and wire, and they're lit so that at night in the city streets, when they're pulling them through the city, there are these huge lit sculptural floats that go through, and there'll be thousands of people dancing and chanting and playing different instruments. So this song is a tribute to that festival, and if you ever get to go, I hope that there'll be thousands of people chanting and dancing with you. This particular version was brought to us by our friend Moko Igarashi, who's a teacher in Tokyo. It begins with a chant, or a kakegoi. Kakegoi means to shout using your voice. The other kind of vocalizing that we do is called kiai, which is very similar to martial arts. That it means to bring forth, to meet. So your spirit is meeting as you bring it forth. Without further ado, you're going to hear us doing some yelling. If you're listening along, you can try chanting with us too. We do a call and response. So you yell on the response part with them. Nebuta daiko. next song that we do is called Matsuri. Matsuri means festival, and if you go to Japan, you'll see that there are hundreds of festivals every year. There's festivals for fall, there's festivals for summer, there's harvest festivals, there's cherry blossom festivals, there's ancestor festivals. What we've done with Matsuri is we've put together several festival rhythms that you might hear if you were to go to Japan and kind of put them together into a Festival 101 rhythm sampler. So Matsuri is a very happy song. I think you saw in Nebuta daiko, there were a couple people playing what we call the matoi, which are these poles with the fringe on them. And those are from the old days. The fire companies would have these matoi, and their company logo would be on the matoi, and they'd have these very nimble members of their fire troops that would climb on top of the burning building and balance and hold the matoi up high, and whoever got to the top first and stayed up there, that company holding their company logo, that company would get paid for putting out the fire. So you'll see some people dancing with the matoi in the back for the second part of this song, Matsuri. The next song that we're going to do for you is our first original song of the evening. This song was written by our members Sonia Evans and Hank Tazinski. The song is called Shosai Myo. Those of you who have studied any Buddhist culture or religion may recognize this as a chant to the goddess Lakshmi, who is the goddess of light and wisdom. This chant is supposed to ward off disasters. So we want to dedicate this song to the current climate of things, just everything. And you'll notice that we are wearing masks. We wanted to model the fact that you can exert yourself and yell and get out in public if you're masked and safely distanced. So we hope you'll follow those recommendations and get out and have some fun. Right now, we're going to play Shosai Myo for you. The next song we're going to do for you is called Kachidoki. Kachidoki means shout of victory. This is one of our favorite songs. It's comes out of a region of Matsuyama, near Matsuyama, Japan, on the island of Shikoku. And the traditional rhythm is built into this song, but this song was actually commissioned by the city of Matsuyama to commemorate a 400-year-old naval battle that they won. So it's part of a suite of songs that the city commissioned in order to commemorate this very famous victory. We want to also give a shout out to USD's Opening Minds Through the Arts. We do programs with them every year. This year we're not able to because of the pandemic, but what that did allow us to do is use some of the OMA drums for this gig. So shout out to OMA, which is a really great arts integration program that is internationally known. So thank you, OMA. Kachidoki. Our next song is another original Odaiko Sonora song. It's called Yudachi. It's Y-U-U-D-A-C-H-I in Roman letters. Yudachi means torrential evening rainstorm. So we wrote this song in honor of Tucson's monsoons. Not that we got much of that this year, but hopefully this song will invoke the memory of the way that the clouds come in from the distance on the horizon and sort of sweep in and just tear the roofs off buildings and then go away. So this is Yudachi, and we're going to feature a couple of different things here. You're going to see me sitting playing the shime. The shime daiko is kind of like the conductor, leader. It holds the ji-uchi, or the bass beat. Shimeru means tied, and in the traditional days, this little tiny drum would be tied with a rope and tightened so that it could be heard above all the other drums. The other drum that we're going to feature here is the gecko, which is the large frame drum in the back. This is a really remarkable drum. It's one of only 4 in the United States. We purchased it through with the help of many of our fans who donated. We want to thank you all for that. The gecko, the characters for the gecko mean moon and drum. So it's called a moon drum because it looks like a moon. The drum was built by the Asano family. They're the 400-year-old drum builders in Japan that pretty much are the Stradivarius of taiko drums. So this is a really unique drum. We're really happy to bring it for you all to enjoy here at Tucson Meet Yourself. Yudachi. So in Japan, there's a very famous and much beloved festival called Obon. Obon is an ancestor festival that comes out of the Buddhist traditions. It's a 3-day festival usually, and in the middle of the festival is something that they call the Bon Odori, or the Obon dance. Most villages have their own dance and their own rhythm and their chant that they do, and usually these have to do with the landscape of the village or the work that they do in the village. So I used to go to Obon festivals and I would learn to dance the various dances for the villages. For instance, you might be pulling in some fishing nets or pulling on a rope or digging. After a while, I realized that Tucson needed its own Obon dance. So I choreographed this song called Tucson Ondo. Well, actually, I choreographed the dance first, and then we added a rhythm to support the dance. There's also a fue part, which is the flute, and a chant that goes with the drum part in the dance. But we're not playing the fue today because of the masks. But if you can imagine, if you do the All Souls procession every year, you've probably heard this. We do it there, although this year again will be virtual, so I'm not sure that we'll be able to do it. But we teach this online also. This fall we'll be teaching this dance. So if you're interested, you can go to TucsonTaiko.org and check out what we're offering virtually and in studio. We're now doing some small in-studio sessions if you want to play the taiko. When you go to an Obon festival, the dances are very simple and you can pick them up just by watching people and following along. But there are certain items that you may need. The first thing you might need is a sensu or an uchiwa, which are the 2 different kinds of fans in Japan. The sensu is the folding fan, and the uchiwa is the fixed fan with the little handle. The other thing that you might need at an Obon festival is called kachi. Kachi are these little bamboo sticks with loops that go around your fingers, and you click them like this, which probably reminds you of another instrument, more commonly known, castanets. The last thing you might use at an Obon festival is this little item here. We call this a hachimaki when it's on our head, but it's called a tenugui when you're using it for other reasons. This would be my tenugui. But in the Obon traditions in the United States, these are called the tauru, or the towel. So for this song, Tucson Ondo, you need a towel. We're going to be joined by some of our wonderful Odaiko Sonora dancers to demonstrate the dance. And we've got our drummers who will be doing the rhythm. So if you can picture this, when we wrote the song, it has to do with the mountains, how Tucson is surrounded by mountains, and then it has to do with the monsoons, with the wind kicking up and the rain coming, and then after the rains come weeds, so we have to weed. So this is hula hoeing. We've adapted this Japanese move for the desert. And then there's a cleaning up move where we will use our towels. And then at the end, we're proud. We're going to do this song 3 times through, and so you can see the dance. The next three songs that we're going to do for you are by our performing ensemble and our performing understudies. These are all songs by friends of ours from the Taiko community. We're going to start off with a song called Asobi. Asobi means play. This was written by Jennifer Weir from Taiko Arts Midwest in Minnesota. The second song we're going to do for you is called River, which was written by Margaret Hopkins of Moab Taiko from Utah. And the last song we're going to do is called Soma, which means running horse. And this is by our dear friend Moko Igarashi, who teaches in Tokyo. The Odaiko Sonora Performing Ensemble.